जे वांछले ते तू दिले जे वांछले ते तू दिले कल्पद्रुमा हे आदिमा शिशिरात या मधुमास तू शिशिरात या मधुमास तू देशी मृता तू अमृता देशी मृता तू अमृता पुरुषोत्तमा हे
A very warm welcome to all the seekers on our show this evening, on our session this evening. So, as you know, that we have been organizing these sessions for uh, for the seekers for the past year or so. So, last 13 months. So, when I think the lockdown started, that is when some people started reaching out to us who wanted to understand more about Sahaja Yoga. And that is when we thought of starting this session on Zoom and then on YouTube. And now thousands of us have joined together to understand about Sahaja Yoga, to do meditation sessions. So we are organizing sessions in the morning at 8, in the afternoon at 4:15, and in the evening at 7:45 p.m. All these three sessions are on this Zoom link and on this YouTube channel. And in these sessions, you can understand all about Sahaja Yoga, the basics, what Sahaja Yoga is, and you can get your self-realization session experience. Apart from that, we are having daily meditation sessions at 5:30 p.m. for people who have understood more about Sahaja Yoga and are now wanting to get into a deeper meditation experience. So it's remarkable how people have actually started looking out more for such avenues where we can find ourselves, we can find peace, bliss, and joy, and kind of a respite from all the tensions of this world, all the all the issues that are surrounding us, that are causing so much fear and that are causing so much pain and trouble right now in these very troubled times. So what we'll try to do right now in this session is basically we'll take 10-15 minutes to talk about Sahaja Yoga, who Shree Mataji is, what this meditation is, how is it different from others. All those questions we'll try and address. After that, we will talk a little bit about our subtle system. We'll have some charts coming in front of you, and these charts will help you explain in detail about the chakras and the nadis. And then we will have a small uh, meditation session, which is the most important thing, of course. And we'll try and see if most of us can get our realization experience today. So we talked about how people are searching for some places where they can find peace and peace, bliss, joy, some respite from all the tensions and all of those things. So how does Sahaja Yoga do this, and how can we benefit from that, and what is it, how is it different, is it something totally new? And there are so many out there these days. How do we judge, how do we figure out what's real, what's fake? And so all these questions are in mind of people who join us for the first time, and for sure we need to address these thoughts first. So what is Sahaja Yoga? Sahaja Yoga is nothing new. Sahaja Yoga, only the name Sahaj has been added to it. Yoga remains what it is, what it has been for thousands of years. So in so many of our Puranas and Nadi Granth, 14,000 years ago, written by Machindranath, has description of what self-realization is. Patanjal and so many other poets and saints, they have talked about finding God, finding yourself, finding the yoga, the union. So the word yoga essentially means union. That is what we are talking about. The union with the Almighty, the divine, the God who has created this earth, all the living beings, everything. So a union with that is what yoga is. That's the literal meaning of this word. That is what is meant to be done with yoga. So now, why Sahaj? So the word Sahaj essentially has come because Shree Mataji said that it is a living process. It happens on its own. It's a spontaneous process. And there's nothing you can really do about that. So we think that, something we must do. We must maybe do some penance, maybe do some karma kand, maybe do a lot of tapasya, because that is the idea that we have about getting our self-realization. So, but that's what we have seen, that is what we have heard the sages of old doing, hundreds of years of tapasya and then getting the enlightenment and whatnot. So how has that changed? How has that become so sahaj and simple? So in the olden times, as it is described, one guru would give a realization to one shishya. That too after doing an elimination process among thousands of them, and then after a lot of penances, they would first clean themselves up from the inside. So that's the idea of doing tapasya and penance, is to clear ourselves out completely, and then when it's done, then the guru would give it to one shishya. So that's how this has worked. Nath Panthis and so many others that we have heard of, they have been working on this, and they have been keeping this alive for us. But now Shree Mataji, in her all power, she's been able to discover the method of giving it to the masses. What Shree Mataji said, that one person getting it will not benefit anybody, because that one person will get it and he will talk about it. For example, Kabira used to talk about it. For example, he would say, Utha bagula prem ka, tinka oda akash, tinka tinke se mila, tinka tinke paas. Nobody would understand what they are really talking about. They're talking about the kundalini inside us rising as a bagula of prem, of love. And tinka oda akash, it crosses over and it goes into the sky. And tinka tinke se mila, it meets the Almighty who it belongs to. And tinka tinke paas. So when people like him talked about it, nobody really understood what they are saying, and it all goes to waste. Sab jag andha kise samjhaun, he would say. So the whole world is blind. Who am I going to explain this to? So Shree Mataji said that ever since she was a little girl, she was trying to figure out a way how to give it to the masses, and that is the only way where people will understand what it means to go higher. Right now, we do not know what it means to get a realization. There have been gurus going around who are talking about so many things, and they do not talk about self-realization at all. There's so many things that are going on, and they're like a circus, a show that really attracts people in so many ways. But nobody is really able to talk about this because it can only be a talk. People are not able to give realization, and that is the real thing which has to happen. And it has to happen to the masses, so that the masses can rise up to a level and can figure out what reality is. So that is how Shree Mataji found out this way. She opened her Sahasrara Chakra in 1970, and she started Sahaj Yoga. She started with a few people back then, and now it's spread to 150 countries, and thousands of people are practicing Sahaj Yoga and benefiting from it. Shree Mataji's husband, Sir CP, was elected as the chief of United Nations International Maritime Organization for 7 consecutive terms. So she had to stay in London, and that's how she was able to travel across the world so much. And she spread the word of Sahaj Yoga, of this union with the divine. So how does it happen? Now the question is, so we have understood what it is, what Sahaj Yoga means. Now how does it happen? And what it means for me to get my self-realization. Your self-realization is essentially your the power inside. So the God Almighty in his all wisdom has created us in a way where everything is built inside us. So first of all, I'm sure the viewers here agree that there is a God that has created this earth. It's not all a game of chance. And he's the one who's taking care of everything. So if he's the one and he's almighty, all powerful, then for sure he's not going to leave us hanging in this chaotic environment that we can say this Ghor Kali Yuga is right now. So inbuilt within us is a complete system, is the power of God Almighty. That is, when it rises, it gives us our self-realization, and we get connected to the God. And for the first time, we feel his presence all around. So we say that, he's everywhere. Kan kan mein Bhagwan. We say he resides in every human being. We say all of those things. We say that we are all connected. We are all brothers and sisters. But how do we know that? It's just a mental projection for most of us. When we hear it being said, we say, oh, yes, we are all brothers. And then we again go and fight. And we are really at each other's throats most of the time. The whole world right now is in that chaotic situation. So how does it change? It changes because we feel it for the first time. We feel his power flowing through us, and all of us feel it. We know the truth really that we are the Atma, the spirit, not all of this Maya. And we know it on our central nervous system. It's not just a brain knowing it, because that's the truth. If I say the truth that we are all the spirit and nothing else, it is just something mental and it doesn't help us at all. But to know it really on our central nervous system is what would give us the actual knowledge, the real gyan, and it all starts pouring inside. The bliss comes, the peace comes, the joy comes because that power of the Almighty starts flowing through us, and slowly and gradually it solves all our problems. It keeps us in a balanced state. It keeps us in a joyful and peaceful mood. It solves all our problems, whether they be physical, mental, societal, family, money related, you name it. Because when you are actually connected with Him, that is when you can. So, for example, we have a telephone connection, and I'm picking up the phone and calling somebody, and I'm talking. I'm telling him, please do this, please do this, please do this. But is the connection really there? Is he really able to hear it? And we go to the temples, the mosques, the churches, wherever we go, and we pray by closing our eyes. Why do we close our eyes? Because we know that He's inside. Then why is it that we do not know that whether He's listening or not? So for the first time, we get the answer to our questions. We get the vibrations flowing from our hands. So what is this vibration? So in Sahaja Yoga, we'll talk a lot about this Param Chaitanya flowing through our hands, which in English we have named as vibrations, which can be a bit misleading. But what it really is the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost as described in Bible. It is the Salilam Chaitanya as described by Adi Guru Shankaracharya. And it is what was foretold by Muhammad Sahib in Quran, that your hands will speak and will give shahadat against you. So these are things that have been described before, but through these vibrations on our hands, we know the truth about everything, about anyone standing in front of you. You can know whether that person is a real guru or not. There's so many things that get resolved once you get your realization. It's all very fantastic and it's all very unbelievable, but it's happening to thousands and you can experience for yourself. Sahaja Yoga has no real organization as such. There is no course as such. There is no certification as such. There is no money that you can give to get it. There is nothing. So I cannot go ahead and tell that, oh yes, that this person is now realized. It doesn't work that way. You have to get it yourself. You have to see it for yourself. And you are the one who will give your own certificate that, yes, I'm getting it. And it is happening. It is really happening. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It happens. It happens. So it's really something that is sahaj, that is spontaneous, that you cannot do anything about. And you cannot really, there's absolutely nothing that we can do about it, which is why the name Sahaj is. So then the question arises, then how does it happen? How can it happen? So I always cite this Ramdas Swami, who was the guru of Shivaji Maharaj, was once asked about this from Shivaji Maharaj. He went and asked, how does one get self-realization and how long does it take? So he said, it happens tatshan. That means it happens that very instant. You just need someone who can give it and you need someone who can take it. So we have to be the ones who can receive it. We have to sit with that understanding here in this session. And the one to give it is Shree Mataji. Only an enlightened light can enlighten another light. But one enlightened light can, for sure, it can enlighten so many lights. So that is the aim of Sahaja Yoga of Shree Mataji, of spreading this. And so that is what Sahaja Yoga is. That is, in short, what we can say is the thesis of Sahaja Yoga, what we are talking about here. What we'll do now is briefly just have a look at the internal subtle system. There's a lot to talk about from a mental understanding, and it's good and it's important to understand this, but the most important thing is, of course, the experience which we'll have after that. So we'll briefly go through this chart that will be coming in front of us. And in each session, we are trying to cover one chakra in specific details. And today we'll cover the Agya Chakra. So we'll have the chart coming in front of us briefly. So as I mentioned that everything is inbuilt within us. It's not that the God Almighty has just left us hanging. So what is inbuilt? And Dushan Bhaiya, you have raised your hand. Okay. I think Ayush would have to do it. Ayush, can you make Dushan Bhaiya the host? Okay, you can see the chart now. So, so how are we really from inside? As we say that God resides inside us, and from the outside we are all like this, but we say that everybody has the same Atma inside us. So within us lies God's power in various forms. He's represented in these chakras and these nadis, and the Atma resides in our heart. We'll try and talk about this in short. So when the baby is in the mother's womb at 2.5 months old, God's power enters through the fontanelle bone area above our head, and that is the soft bone in a child. You must have seen that. That is the place from where this energy enters. You can call it whatever name you want to give it, but it's essentially God's power, and it creates these chakras and nadis inside us. There are many chakras and nadis inside us, but the main ones are these 3 nadis that you see and these 7 flower-like things that are called the chakras. The residual energy after all this creation comes down and settles in this triangular bone at the end of our spine. This triangular bone is called as the sacrum bone. So that is one suggestion that the Greeks who named this bone also knew that there was something sacred placed in this very bone. So this energy is called as the Kundalini Shakti inside us. Now you must have heard this name many times by now. And this energy is the energy of pure desire inside us. So when we say pure desire, what does that really mean? So we have various desires in our lives, so many things that we are running after, and we are never satisfied even after gaining most of those things. You can go and ask the richest person in the world and he would not be satisfied. So there is something that will give us the true satisfaction, because that is the pure desire inside us. When that gets satiated, we get the real joy, we get the real satisfaction. So this is the energy, this is the pure energy, this is what really is driving us in our seeking today. This is what is driving us to search for God, because the true desire inside us is really to get connected with Him, be one with Him. Apart from this Kundalini is the power that is with us in all our lives and has recorded everything that we have been doing all our lives in itself like a tape recorder. And the Kundalini knows us the best. So why do we name it the Kundalini? Because it's in coils. It's in 3.5 coils. And as you know, in Sanskrit, coil is called as Kundal. So we talked about how a baby in mother's womb, he gets this energy from the fontanel bone. This energy then does this creation and comes down and settles in this triangular bone, and it goes to sleep. It goes into suptavastha. And as in when we say that children are really God's form, because the Kundalini is still somewhat, it's awake. Their sahasrara are still somewhat open, and slowly and gradually the child develops ego, superego, conditionings. Everything comes around, and the connection with the divine, it gets calcified on our head, and there is no more a connection with the divine. So it goes into a complete state of sleep, slumber, raising this Kundalini back and piercing our Sahasrara, the topmost chakra, is what is self-realization. Now, what happens is that so these chakras that we're talking about, these flower-like things, they all control our plexuses on the gross. And these nadis that we're talking about, they control our nervous systems, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. So because the light comes down to the physical level, we feel these chakras on our hands. In terms of, if it's good, then we feel cool vibrations. If it's hot, means there's some obstruction. It might tingle like or it might get tingle like a ant kind of crawling there, or it might get heavy and things that are unpleasant. So we know that which chakra is catching, then we can clear that out in Sahaja. So that is why you can see the codings done on our fingers on the left hand, as it's shown in this diagram there. So what we'll do is that we'll briefly talk about the nadis first. On the left hand side is the Ida nadi inside us, which is the blue channel that has been shown here. And this nadi essentially is responsible for all our emotions and our desires. So the left is all about emotions inside us. So we are a being. We can say we exist on several planes. There is one physical plane. On the inside, there is one mental plane, and there is a emotional personality inside us, and there is a spirit. So there are four essentially existences. So this left nadi controls the emotions part of us. Also, all our desires, they start from the left side. Also, all our past is stored here. So people who are all the time thinking about the past and are very depressed and sad and have so many desires that are unfulfilled and do not work towards getting those desires fulfilled, they all work too much on this left channel. And these people usually go into problems that are more around depression or psychosomatic diseases. They all originate from this left channel. This channel is also called as the moon channel, and when it gets overused, it gets very cold. Whereas if we talk about the right channel, the yellow one, it's called as the Pingala nadi inside us. And as the left channel was controlling the left sympathetic, this one is controlling the right sympathetic inside us. This is also called as the Surya nadi, the sun nadi, and this controls everything that is action related inside us. So it can be a physical action, it can be a mental action also. All our thoughts, thinking, everything happens through this channel. All our aggression, all our futuristic tendencies, all our all our kind of, we can say that people who are thinking about what to achieve in the future, and I'll do this and I'll do that, they all that ego that builds up, all of that happens through this right channel inside us. So when it gets overused, people are too aggressive and futuristic, it gets overheated, and problems with overheat and body start with this channel. So so we can feel our left channel on our left palm, and we can feel our right channel on our right palm. What's in center is the path for Kundalini. So that is the third nadi, the most the central most nadi. It's called as the Sushumna nadi, and it controls our parasympathetic. So everything that is autonomous is run through parasympathetic. It controls that inside us, and this is the nadi of our present. So we are all the time we are thinking about, and we do not even know what we are thinking about. But essentially, it's just two things: either it's something in the past or something in the present, and something in the past or something in the future. So coming into the present is what is coming into the balance, and as Buddha has talked about, being in balance. So many of dharma gurus, we can call them, or So many of saints have talked about being in balance, because that's the most important thing for the Kundalini to rise, for us to ascend. So anything cannot ascend unless it's balanced, like a plane or anything you can think of. There needs to be a balance. Similarly, inside us, we need to have that balance. Once we have the balance in the left and right, Kundalini can rise from the Sushumna, and it can give us our self-realization. So in Sahaja Yoga, first we do balancing activities also using the 5 elements before going into meditation. So this is about the nadis inside us. Now we'll briefly touch upon the various chakras. And the first chakra inside us is the Mooladhara chakra. This is governed by none other than Sri Ganesh, who is the giver of innocence and wisdom inside us. So he's described as a child. So should we be, like we should be childlike, innocent, and we should be people who are wise. So anybody who goes against the innocence and tries to do harm to others by conniving measures, or is wrongly placed somewhat in sexual matters, all of those things, they hurt this chakra very badly. But once it's enlightened, the person gets complete wisdom, this complete buddhi and vivek inside the person, it grows. So children especially benefit from this a lot if they get this Ashirvad from Sri Ganesh on this chakra. They get their wisdom and they do not go to any wrong things. So as we can imagine, every chakra also controls the physical aspects, the organs around. So anything wrong with the organs around, we can imagine all excretion related activities are around this chakra. They all go bad if we go against any of these qualities of Sri Ganesha. So in Sahaja Yoga, we understand that all these deities, all these incarnations are all true. All these religions are all true. And the only thing that we need to do is work on getting the qualities of all these deities. And that is what will cure all our chakras, and that is what will really give us the complete self-realization experience also. So this was the first chakra, and we can feel it where our palm meets our hands. You can see the number 1 in this chart as is described. So above this is Kundalini's place. It is placed there. And after that comes the Swadhisthana chakra. And you can see that this chakra is directly related to the right nadi. The Pingala nadi starts from this chakra. So it's very important. And this chakra is the place for creativity inside us. And as we can relate, Shri Brahmadev Saraswati are the deities of this chakra. So them being the creators of this universe, when they get awakened inside us, we get creative powers awakened inside us. Also, this chakra is responsible for all our mental activity. So we think that we actually think from our brains, but that brain gets all the fat cells converted into gray cells, and that conversion happens through this Swadhisthana chakra. So this chakra provides the energy for us to think. The chakra also controls so many organs in this area, as we can imagine, the liver, the pancreas, and so many others. And when it's not able to give energy to those organs because we are overthinking, then these organs go out of order. So you'll find that people who think a lot, plan a lot, very futuristic, they are the ones who get or are under a lot of stress. They are the ones who get liver troubles or diabetes and things like that. So this chakra is, we can feel it on both our thumbs. Also, when we go against the Nirmal Vidya, so what we can say is we go into any kind of tantra mantra or any wrong sort of gurus, then also this chakra can really go bad. So as we are trying to talk about all the chakras in brief, we'll just move forward. And the third chakra here is the Nabhi chakra. This chakra is governed by Sri Lakshmi Narayan, and as we know that they are the ones who take care of our complete well-being. When this chakra gets awakened, our complete well-being is taken care of in terms of money, we can say, in terms of the family life, everything that we know that there are 10 forms of Lakshmi, all their blessings come to us and we get blessed. People who are really against the Lakshmi principle, like people who are very miserly or do not have a good family relationship or are struggling money wise, usually there this chakra gets caught up for some reasons. Also, this chakra is very important because our seeking starts from this chakra. We start searching uh, for something higher because of this chakra. As animals were searching maybe for food or shelter or things like that, now as human beings we have been searching for things that would give us joy and pleasure in terms of money, power, whatever. And ultimately, because of this chakra, we realize that we have to search for God. So this is very, very important, as you can imagine. We can feel this chakra on our biggest fingers, that is the middle fingers of both the hands. Around this chakra is there's a green circle. It's shown as the void. It's called as the Bhav Sagara. So we have heard the reference of Bhav Sagara before in bhajans and all, that Devi is the one who takes us across this Bhav Sagara. So this is the place of master principle inside us. So the 10 masters, the 10 great incarnations of the master principle of Adi Guru Dattatreya, they all reside in this place. And you probably know their names: Shirdi Sainath, Raja Janak, Muhammad Saab, Lao Tse, Sukrat, and Adi Guru Shankaracharya, and so many like them. They've come on this earth to teach us about religion, what the true religion is. And it's not Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, and all that, but it's the true religion that resides inside us, that tells us what is good, what is wrong. Whenever we go against those 10 principles that we can say inside us are, that is when this chakra goes off. And there are so many things that can trouble this chakra. We've talked about it in detail previously. So you can feel this chakra around the center of your palm. So you can feel it, you can see in the chart, it's around the 7 number. 7 number is Sahasrara, you can feel it around that. So this chakra also gets caught up when we go to some wrong gurus, because the guru principle is affected here. After this comes the Hriday, the heart chakra, the Anhat chakra. And this is the place of, in center, it's adorned by Sri Jagdamba, the mother of the universe. And she is the one who gives us the confidence that we are always being taken care of. We are always in her protection, and she's the one who's going to protect us from all the problems. So that fearlessness comes inside us because we know that she's there. And when this principle of this confidence, it gets shaken, that is where problems of maybe breast cancer can arise, maybe in women who feel insecure about something, about their husbands or family or something like that. So even when children who are more, you can say, who get afraid easily, those are the children who get more coughs and more fevers and problems like that, because this is the place of our antibodies development as well. They are the soldiers of the mother who protect us. On the left-hand side is the place of the spirit, the soul inside us. It's also the place of Sri Shiv Parvati. So what is spirit is essentially, it's the reflection of God Almighty inside us. So Atma and Paramatma. You can understand Atma is the reflection of Paramatma. So as Shiva is the Paramatma in form of Sadashiva. So his reflection resides as Shiva. On the right hand side is the place of Sri Sitaram, who the Maryada Purushottama, and we know that he taught us how to be the ideal son, king, father, everything. And when we go against those Maryadas, this chakra gets caught up. On the left hand side is the tattva of the spirit. So when we are not compassionate towards others, that is also when this chakra can get caught up. So love and compassion are, of course, the great qualities of this chakra as well. We can feel this chakra on our small fingers on both the hands. After this comes the Vishuddhi chakra. And this chakra is adorned by Sri Radha Krishna. Sri Radha Krishna, as we know their lives, they taught us so many things about being sweet to others, about being collective. So things like Ras and Holi started there. about, and Gita, Krishna has talked about looking at the whole world like a Leela. So that sense of, we can say, that state of looking at the world as a Leela, that comes in because of the blessings of Shri Krishna here. This chakra is responsible for all our communication. So all our hands are controlled by this chakra. Our ENT, our face, our eyes out on the outside is controlled by this chakra. And there are very deep qualities about this chakra to be talked in detail. We have done that in the last session. We can feel this chakra on our fingertips on both the hands. Usually people who feel very guilty about themselves, who always say bad things about themselves, their left Vishuddhi goes off. When that happens, you cannot feel the vibration. So it's very important that in Sahaja Yoga, we have to say that we are not guilty. And we do that when we go into meditation session. Whereas on the right hand side, if people are always aggressive on others, shouting, abusing others, the right Vishuddhi goes off. Also, when you take tobacco or smoke, that is when this chakra also, obviously, it gets hampered very badly. So this is about Vishuddhi chakra, and we have to talk about Agya chakra in detail today. So we'll just move on to the sixth center, that is the Agya chakra. So a lot of people have talked about the third eye and so many things. So this is the chakra that essentially is the third eye, we can call it. This chakra is very, very important. And this chakra is adorned by Jesus Christ, Mahavir, and Gautam Buddha. And they've all talked about forgiveness. They've all talked about forgiving others. Their whole lives have been about forgiveness. So that is the quality of this chakra. And until we have seen a lot of sages and a lot of yoga discussion happens where they meditate on this chakra. And that was the problem also, because when you meditate on this chakra, it gets heated up a lot. A lot of people we have seen in our old movies and serials where they can basat anybody, they can turn anybody to ashes. All of that developed because of too much right side on this chakra. So this chakra is very important because crossing it is essentially it's the smallest part for Kundalini to go through, smallest road to cross through, because there are three nadis coming together here. On the left, right, and the center, all of them come together here. And it's a very small, we can say, path for Kundalini to cross over. And when people have too much of ego or superego developed, so all our activities lead to a big ego getting developed inside us, whereas all our conditionings, all our learnings, everything gets developed as a superego. So one or the other is always on the top of the other, and that is where this chakra is always constricted, and there is no way for Kundalini to cross over. And forgiveness is the only way this chakra opens up. This chakra is also, because there are four parts of this chakra, there's a front and a back. So in meditation, we do prayers on front and back, but also on the left-hand side, the front goes to the left. So we can see that the right channel comes to the left side. And similarly, the back chakra goes to the right side. So the two nadis cross over in that fashion. And apart from this, to talk about this chakra has only two petals. Unlike so many other chakras below, there are so many petals. And it controls our brain and our eyes from the inside, mostly. That's the function of this chakra. The most important thing that happens is that when this chakra gets passed through by Kundalini, we get into a state of Nirvichar Chetna, that is thoughtless awareness. So all our thoughts are up till this chakra. Beyond this chakra is the thoughtless awareness. Once we cross over Agya chakra, there is no constriction, there is no obstruction for Sahasrara to open. So until here, we are on thoughts. And after this is where we go beyond the thoughts. That is when we get into meditation. We can feel this chakra on both our ring fingers, the fingers that are next to our smallest fingers. And I think we have talked a lot. So it's there's a lot of things to talk about for this chakra as well, but I think we'll take a pause here. And so we have talked about, we'll move on to the next chakra, which is the Sahasrara chakra. And this is the path, the door, we can say, for the Kundalini to take us to our self-realization and take us to the divine. We already talked about ego and superego. Sahasrara chakra's quality is mentioned as integration, because all the chakras are integrated when Sahasrara opens up. They're all present in our heads. And also, we become an integrated personality. There's no more a commotion of heart and brain and all those inside us. We also get integrated with the divine. We become one with the divine. So this is the blessing of Sahasrara chakra inside us. And we have spent quite a lot of time in talking about the intricacies, but the most important thing now remains is that getting to our self-realization. So what we'll do now is get into a session of self-realization. What we'll do is first show you the steps that we'll do in meditation, and then we'll do that meditation exercise, we can say, or session with our eyes closed. So I had mentioned earlier that getting into balance is very important. That is how we can ascend. And what we'll do is do few exercises, or we can say few steps that will get us into a state of balance. And we use the 5 elements a lot in Sahaja Yoga to clear ourselves out. That is what has made us, and that is what can give us the balance. So the first step is balancing our left channel by putting our right hand on the Mother Earth. This we'll do in meditation with our eyes closed, and we'll do some prayers while doing this. The next step is we'll put our right hand back into our lap and put our left hand towards the sky. So here we are using the sky element. Also, while meditating, we always have a diya or a candle lit in front of Shree Mataji's photo. That represents the fire element. Now, after this, we'll have both our hands on the Mother Earth. Now we'll bring both our hands into our lap. All the next steps we'll do with our right hand only. So we'll put our right hand on our heart. This is the seat, this is the place of our spirit. We'll do some prayers here. We'll take this hand on our forehead after this, and we'll press our forehead like we would when we would have a headache. After this, we'll take this hand, the back of our head, and push back our head a bit. The last step, we'll put our right hand on the top of our head. We'll stretch our fingers completely so that only the center of the palm is put on the top of our head, and we'll press here a bit, and with the palm we'll move our scalp in clockwise direction while doing some prayers. So this is it. These are all the steps that we'll do in meditation, and these are the simple things that we can easily do sitting at our homes. So now the question is that how can this happen just by doing some prayers and moving our hands? So as I described earlier, that we just need someone who can give it, and we have to be the ones who have to receive it. So the one to give it is Shree Mataji. Shree Mataji's photo has that quality, you can say. It emanates those vibrations, that Param Chaitanya, that works it out inside us, that raises the Kundalini inside us. We just have to sit with complete humility, complete Shraddha and belief, and be very, very humble and ask for it. We have to ask for it. There is no other way. Shree Mataji cannot impose it on us. We have to be the ones asking for it from complete heart and humility. So look at Shree Mataji's photo, look at her bindi, and with complete respect and humility will ask, Mother, we want our self-realization. Slowly we'll close our eyes and bring our attention inside. We'll sit straight with both our hands in our lap. We need to shun off every disturbance at this stage because this is the most important thing in the world to get our self realization. So we need to bring our attention completely inside. Now we'll do the steps that we had seen earlier. We'll put our right hand on the Mother Earth and left hand we'll keep in our lap. Here we have to ask, Mother, please cleanse my Ida Nadi. Mother, please take out all the negativities of my left channel through the Mother Earth. Mother, please clear out my Ida Nadi. We have to pay attention to both our palms. What is happening on the left palm? Sometimes people feel that something is going from the right palm into the earth. We'll bring our right hand back into our lap and put our left hand towards the sky by bending the elbow. Here we have to say, Mother, please clear out my Pingla Nadi. Mother, please take out all the impurities and negativities of my right channel through the sky element, through the ether element. We'll pay attention to both our palms as well. Now we'll put both our hands on the Mother Earth. To pray here, Mother, please bring us into complete balance. To pray to Mother Earth as well, Mother, please take out all my impurities, imbalances, and negativities. Give me a state of balance. Mother, please bring me into the present and in a state of balance. We'll bring both our hands into our lap. Now we'll put our right hand on our heart and press a little here. This is the place of our spirit, the Atma. In reality, we are not this body, this mind, this ego, this identity that we know of, all these conditionings, but we are truly just the spirit. We are the Atma. And we have to say this fact here, state this fact with complete confidence. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Please say it. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Not this body, not this mind. Whatever identities you may have about, you can say that I'm not this, not this. But Mother, I am the pure spirit. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Now, as I am the spirit, I am not guilty at all. Whatever things you think you may have done wrong, let Kundalini be the judge. Because you are the spirit, you are not guilty at all. So say here that, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Because the Atma, the spirit, doesn't commit any sin. So, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Now bring this right hand on your forehead and press like you would when you would have a headache on both the sides. Now, as we saw that this is the place of forgiveness, and here we have to say that, Mother, I forgive everyone. You do not need to remember anyone. You just have to give a blanket forgiveness and say that, Mother, I forgive everyone from my heart. We should know that we do not do anything when we don't forgive or remain angry with someone. It doesn't do any good. Whereas when we forgive, God takes over and He takes care of the people who have done wrong to you. So please say that, Mother, I forgive everyone. Now bring this hand at the back of your head and push back your head towards the sky. Here you have to say, for your own satisfaction, that, oh God, if I have done any mistakes against you, please forgive me. Oh God, knowingly or unknowingly I have done any mistakes against you, please forgive me. Now we can bring back this hand in our lap. As the last step, we'll bring our right hand again on the top of our head, which is the place of Sahasrara, the Brahmarandra, and stretch our hand, our fingers, so that only the palm, center of the palm, comes on the fontanelle bone area, and press here. To move without raising your hands, the scalp while pressing 7 times. And we have to really ask for it, because Mother cannot go against our will, our freedom. So we have to really ask for it. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please give me my Atma Sakshatkar. Mother, please give me the union with the divine. Mother, please give me the experience of the power of God, the love of God. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Now bring back this hand in your lap, put both the hands in your lap, and just sit in quiet meditation for a while. We'll bring our attention to both our palms and see what is happening. Now we have to raise our right palm on the top of our head, where we just put our hand, and raise the hand 2-3 inches above the fontanelle bone. Here we have to see if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming out of our head, out of the top of our head, and hitting our palm. Could be coming from a very specific place, so you can move your hand back and forth a bit. Now we have to check this with our left hand. So bring your right hand back into your palm and check the same thing with your left hand. The left hand, a couple of inches above your head, the fontanelle bone area. You can move your hand back and forth a bit, and you'll see a hot or a cool breeze coming out a specific place. Bring this hand back into your lap. Now we'll do one last step. We'll put both our hands fully towards the sky, palm open towards the sky, and push back our head. We have to ask a fundamental question here. Oh God, is this the Param Chaitanya? Is this the divine power? Is this your power of love and creation? You can ask any question, any one of these questions 3 times. In response, the vibrations on your hands would improve and increase. Now I'll bring both our hands back into our lap. Now we have to put our attention at the top of our head where we had put our hands and sit in meditation for a minute. We'll slowly open our eyes and look at Shree Mataji's photo. We'll find that we can look at her photo without thinking and still be in meditation. This is the thoughtless awareness, the Nirvichar Chit. We'll bring both our hands in a pranam, namaskara, and thank Shree Mataji for this blissful state, these vibrations that we have just felt. This is just a very small wee bit that we have felt today. This experience this self-realization needs to grow so that Kundalini can completely clear out all our problems and fully come out of the Sahasrara. For that, it's imperative that we meditate every day, in the morning and in the evening. Those who have just joined us would request you to continue doing this for some time with us so that you develop this experience properly. You see for yourself the benefits of Sahaja. We have some time for any questions that you may have on YouTube or on Zoom. If you want to talk to us, it's better to join on Zoom.
Shree Mataji to everyone. Whoever is online on YouTube, if you have any questions, you can post your questions in the chat section. In case you would like to join on Zoom to discuss any kind of queries, the second link which is mentioned in the online chat, that's the Zoom link. You can just click on the link. There is no password to it, and you can join our session. Whatever queries are there, we'll try to answer it as best as possible. These programs, the self-realization programs, are done on a daily basis at morning 8 o'clock, afternoon 4:15 p.m. and in the evening at around 7:45 p.m. There is also a deep meditation session which happens at 5:30 p.m. We publish the details of all these programs on a daily basis. In case you would like to know these details, we just posted the link for our WhatsApp chat group. That's the first link that you can join. In case you would like to subscribe to our channel, you can click on the third link. That is the subscription link which we have posted. And in case you would like to listen to Shree Mataji's speeches, the fourth link pertains to that. You can click on that link, and that link will take you to our channel, Shree Mataji Ki Amritwani, wherein you'll find various of Shree Mataji's speeches posted. If you have any questions, you can either join Zoom, raise your hand, or you can post your questions on YouTube. Dhirendra Khare ji has just posted on YouTube. Please give vibration to my son Madhur Khare. He is a corona patient. Dhirendra ji will post this on our group, and all the Sahajogis, I'm sure, will provide vibrations. By Mother's grace, I hope your son will be okay. Shree Mataji, on Zoom, Animesh, would you like to talk to someone?
Yes, Bhaiya, I think there's Vivek Upadhyay ji here. Maybe we can talk.
Vivek ji, if you would like to talk, you can talk. You can chat right now. I have unmuted you. The link to unmute yourself is on the bottom left-hand side, in case you would like to do it.
Vivek ji, can you hear us?
Shree Mataji, yes, I can hear you, sir.
Shree Mataji. So are you a new joinee? How are you?
Yes, sir. I am very much new joinee, and for the first time I am.
Oh, you have joined for the first time. Okay.
Yeah.
Where have you joined from? Which part of the country you are?
I am in Jabalpur these days.
Jabalpur. Okay. Sir, so how was the experience? Did you feel vibrations on your hands?
Yes, sir. I felt really, light and energetic.
Okay. But did you feel anything on the hands as well? On your palms, did you get some experience there of cool breeze or some tinglings on some fingers or something like that?
I think my wife felt more.
Okay.
हेलो जय श्री माता जी,
Shree
आई एम
Mataji.
मिसेस उपाध्याय।
Shree Mataji.
मुझे ये लगा थोड़ा कुछ ऐसे सर्कल में घूमते हुए,
गोल घूमते हुए हाथ में।
हाँ गोल घूमते हुए।
बिल्कुल। तो ये एक्सपीरियंस आता है कई बार, और ये
हाँ।
हमारे ये भवसागर का जैसे हम बात कर रहे थे उसका स्थान है, तो कई बार एक्सपीरियंस आता है। पर बहुत अच्छी बात है कि आप दोनों को पहली बार में अच्छा महसूस हुआ है, और
हाँ।
मेरी आपसे ये बस एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप कुछ दिन अभी जुड़ते रहिए। आपको
हाँ,
जो सूट करे, 3 बार हम दिन में इसे कर रहे हैं, तो आपको ये जो हाथ में हम बोल रहे हैं चैतन्य आता है, ये सब होता है, ये एक बार ढंग से होना चालू होगा तब आपको मजा आना चालू होगा सहज कि अरे ये क्या हो रहा है, आपको सच में एक्सपीरियंस होगा। तो आप कुछ दिन लगातार इसे जरूर करिए। और ये जैसे बता रहे हैं कि एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है, उसमें हम ये लिंक भेजते रहते हैं जहाँ श्री माता जी के लेक्चर्स भी हैं और ध्यान की भी लिंक्स आती रहती हैं, कैसे घर
हाँ।
पे करना आदि ऐसी चीजें हमें जो अभी नए लोगों को नहीं पता होती, वो भी आपको सारी उसमें मिल जाएंगी। तो दुष्यंत भैया, अपन ने यहाँ पे जूम में भी डाला है क्या लिंक?
हाँ, शायद डाला था, जूम में भी डाला है।
नहीं
मेरी
नहीं, Zoom में
सिस्टर
डाला है नहीं,
वो
अभी
उसने मुझे भेजा था,
अच्छा
तृप्ति
अच्छा
शर्मा।
अच्छा
और
अच्छा
भाभी है दीपा मुंदड़ा,
अच्छा।
दीपा जोशी।
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
तो वो दोनों सहयोगी इंदौर में।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा।
तो वो हमेशा बोलते हैं, अभी उन्होंने कहा अभी आप करो,
ये बहुत बहुत
आपको
अच्छी बात है।
एक्सपीरियंस।
ये सहयोग वैसे ही बस 1 से 2, 2 से 3 ही फैलता है, क्योंकि आप देखिए कि यहाँ पे कोई ऐसा मतलब हम बहुत पैसा वैसा लेके या ऐसा बहुत ऐसा कुछ नहीं कर रहे। जिसको
हाँ
फायदा होता है वो एक दूसरे को बताता है, और फिर हम ऐसे ही करते हैं ना। इसमें आप देखेंगे कोई कोर्स नहीं है, कुछ नहीं। हम
हाँ
बस ये
हाँ।
कर रहे हैं अपने श्रद्धा से कि सबको फायदा हो। और इसमें अब हजारों लोग ऐसे ही जुड़ रहे हैं। आप यूट्यूब पे देखेंगे कि 14-15 हजार लोग यूट्यूब चैनल पे जुड़ गए हैं। तो
आप हमें भी कर दीजिए व्हाट्सएप में।
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल दुष्यंत भैया, अपन ये लिंक यहाँ पे भी
ये
शेयर
जो,
कर सकते हैं।
हाँ, एक लिंक मैं आपको शेयर कर रहा हूँ अभी जूम पर। ये लिंक
ठीक।
प्लीज आप देखिए, लिंक पे जैसे ही आप क्लिक करेंगे, चैट बॉक्स में अभी अभी मैंने शेयर किया है। तो
हाँ।
जिस लिंक पे आप क्लिक करेंगे, जो पहला लिंक है, तो आप जो है हमारा व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप ज्वाइन कर लेंगे। व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में हमारे जो भी प्रोग्राम होते हैं सबकी इन्फॉर्मेशन पूरे टाइम सर्कुलेट हो जाती है। तो प्लीज आपसे आप प्लीज वो ग्रुप ज्वाइन कर लीजिए, उससे बहुत सुविधा हो
देख
जाएगी,
लेंगे
सारी
बाद में।
इन्फॉर्मेशन आपको टाइम टू टाइम मिलती रहेगी।
आपकी
आप,
आवाज बहुत कम आती है।
हाँ हाँ, अभी ठीक है।
हाँ, अभी थोड़ी ठीक आने लगी।
हाँ, तो जैसे ही आप ग्रुप के लिंक पर क्लिक करेंगे, व्हाट्सएप चैट का जो लिंक है, तो आप ऑटोमेटिकली जो है हमारा व्हाट्सएप चैट ज्वाइन कर
ओके
लेंगे।
ओके ओके।
सब यूट्यूब पे भी जो लोग
थैंक
हैं, सभी से प्रार्थना है कि आप लोग, इफ यू क्लिक ऑन दैट व्हाट्सएप चैट लिंक, यू विल बी एबल टू ज्वाइन।
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
थैंक यू सो मच जशना। अनिमेश,
हाँ भैया, आई थिंक वी डू नॉट हैव एनी मोर क्वेश्चंस।
there are no more queries. I don't see any more queries or new joinees on Zoom. So we'll close the session now.
Yeah.
भाई श्री माता जी को आज के आनंद एवं ध्यान के लिए कोटि कोटि नमन, कोटि कोटि नमन। आज का सेशन यहीं क्लोज करें। जय श्री माता जी।
जय श्री माता जी।
जय श्री माता।